and I'll email it to everyone. So the first one is to think before you respond. Basically having self-control. Because we all, sometimes we have a situation where we respond, we react, and we'll lose control before thinking about a situation. And it's like, I tell people every day, I used to want to be a lawyer. And I didn't become a lawyer, I became a therapist. I'm like, and that's cool. I said I could have went to law school, but this was, I guess, my chosen calling. And so I said I'll go with it. So with that being said, when you do things before thinking about it, that's called your reaction. That's that's not that's premeditated. Sometimes when you don't think and you just do it. No, wait a minute. When you premeditate is when you think about it.
Yeah.
All right, premeditate is when you think about it.
Yeah.
So, but if you don't think and you react and you just do it, you get in trouble, but not as bad. But when it's premeditated, that's when they coming for you. That's when they gonna take you down, and that's when you thought about that first. You took your time and you thought about how you was going to get back at us or do what you was going to do because you were so angry and so stressed out. So when we go into meetings with our bosses and things like that, I know I'm the first person to say it. I know I went in there, I told them, I was like, well, fire me, I don't care. And they looked at me and they said, what? I said, fire me. Go right ahead. I said, I packed my car, all my stuff is out there. I never carried that much in this office that I can't pack in my car and fire me. And they looked at me and they said, we can't do that. I said, why? Because everybody quit. And they said, yeah. And I said, that's not my problem. I said, y'all have a problem. I was having my mental health break. I said, y'all done stressed me out and it's time for y'all to figure this out. I said, y'all either gonna get me some help or fire me. I said, because at that point, because see, I thought about it. Y'all fire me, I can find a way to get unemployment. I'm not stupid.
Exactly.
I'm like, I done worked this system. I know how it goes. I said, so if I quit, I ain't getting nothing. But y'all can go ahead and fire me so I can collect the check. I said, because I know how to work that system with a lawyer. So, and they just looked at me and they was just like, that's not gonna happen, but we just want you to calm down and just think about things. And I said, okay, well, whatever. I said, well, y'all had a choice. Y'all had the day to do it. Well, you're not gonna go to human resources. Or I said, yeah, I'm gonna go to human resources. I'm gonna talk to them. I'm gonna let them know. But again, I had to keep my self-control, which I did control myself really well because I could have went, whole left. But I just kept it, I kept it mild, and it was like before I did it, I had called my family because I always call my family for advice. And I called my mother and I said, Mom, I'm going in there. I'm gonna tell them to fire me. She said, go ahead, because they ain't gonna get unemployment if they left you quit. I said, you got that right. So I did, I was like, well, I'm gonna do it. And I just went in there and told them that, and then they was like, well, we'll work it out. They did end up getting staff and trying to work things over. So it was like everything ended up working out. But that's not always the case. So we have to, be able to maintain our self-control. Number 2, remaining calm. Trying to handle a situation when you are stressed. The first thing we do is we scream. We yell. Sometimes it's, we might say things that we don't mean. But if we remain calm, try to take a few deep breaths, relax, relate, release. Deep breath before reacting, then we can go ahead and we can address the situation. Number 3, taking a deep breath. Deep breath works for people. Some people deep breaths work for, some people it doesn't. When it comes to coping skills for stress, I tell everyone, you have to find your own coping skills. Because what works for one person may not work for another. So everybody has to have their own coping skills when it comes to that. Because, some people might like taking a walk on a beach. Some people might like to exercise. It's totally up to you on what you choose because everybody doesn't respond the same. Number 4, never respond when you're angry. When you're angry, do your best to not respond, because when you make a response when you're angry, sometimes it comes up a little irrational. We might say things to hurt people's feelings. The decisions that we make might be a little, off the mark, and then all of a sudden we think about it later and say, Oh, okay. I did say that, didn't I? You know, I tell people in a minute, never put nothing in writing. You put it in writing, you can't back that up. But if they say you said, well, I had a situation going on, and I didn't say that at all, then you misread me. And then you go back and you can rephrase that. But if you put it in black and white, it's over. That's a wrap. You ain't no coming back from black and white. Identify possible solutions. When you become stressed out, try to find solutions to whatever the situation is. If it's a negative problem, a positive situation, try to find a solution, because that's the one thing that we have to work on, finding solutions. The number 6 is exercising. I passed out paperwork to all of you. I think everybody should have paperwork about mental health exercising. Being able to discover the benefits of exercising when you're experiencing some issues such as depression, anxiety, anger, stress, whether it's running, taking a walk, lifting weights. Some people are into weightlifting. Don't be afraid of it. Climbing, taking hikes. A lot of people like to take hikes. Bike riding is one. Try to put yourself on somewhat of a schedule. Even though a lot of us might not like to go out and take walks or runs and things like that, even if you do something in the house, that's the same way as burning off energy. Because one thing I do know, when we're angry and we're stressed, the first thing we do when we are all worked up is we take a nap. We get tired. Because at that point, well, some people eat when they're angry and upset. Some people eat, but you find more people eating with depression than you do with anger. When people are angry, they worked up, the first thing they want to do is they just get so exhausted that they're ready to lay down. That's not good. At this point, find a way to burn it off. Whether walking up and down, if you have stairs in your home, walking up and down the steps, or going outside, walking around the house, or if you have a lawnmower or something, mowing the lawn, or even though we don't want to mow the lawn, but trying to find some kind of activity to do just to keep yourself occupied so that you don't get into that slump. And you never know, you might find out that is a coping skill, that you might want to start using. Being able to take time out, remove yourself from the stressful situation if you can. Finding a day to have a mental health day where you can separate yourself. Have a spa day if you can. If you can't have a spa day, that's fine too. Just, find something that relaxes you and do it. And even if it's going into, another room of the house and reading a book and just saying, look, I need an hour or 2 hours just for me. Can somebody help me out for 5 minutes? That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for you to come and take over the whole tribe at the house. I'm just asking for an hour or 2 hours. Don't be afraid to call on support systems and utilize any kind of services that's out there, from social services and any other community organizations that's out there. Don't be afraid to call them, because that's what they're there for. And I think a lot of us get to where we don't want to ask for help. But sometimes we need that extra help, and don't be afraid to call them. It's okay. That's what they're there for, because if we don't call them, they just sitting there, and the funding that they getting from the government is just piling up, so we might as well just go ahead and use them. Don't hold a grudge. Know to let it go. Sometimes we all go through moments in our life where we can't let stuff go, but be able to let go. We can't be we can be mad at people forever, but it's not good to be mad at people forever. It's not healthy. So we have to work on trying to keep ourselves as physically healthy as we are mental health. Humor, being able to laugh. Humor relaxes the body and it releases tension. Sometimes we go through situations we might not even know what's going on, and we find ourselves laughing like, well, why was I even stressed out anyway? Was it even something? Because sometimes things happen and we all have a tendency to do this, put stuff in our mind about different situations where we start focusing on stuff and we make up and create stories in our heads. We've all done it at some point on our life, whether we did it as a teenager, whether we did it as not. We might have did it yesterday, where it's like something that we wanted to, something that was going on, and all of a sudden we just created this big elaborate story, you know, and it's just like I said there, for example, someone told me, I am so pissed, and I said, pissed about what? I was sitting in my car at the light, and I said, what happened? I seen a guy and a girl at the Rita's Water Rice stand holding hands, and I said, they're in love, and they're getting the water rice, and I'm lonely. And I said to her, I said, first of all, just because they at Rita's, was they really holding hands? And she said to me, now that I think about it, no, they was just standing close to each other. So I said, I said, so you got from them standing next to each other, in your mind, they was holding hands. She was like, he was gonna buy her water rice. I said, well, who was standing at the counter? She said, she was. I said, well, then he ain't had no money. So what's so happy about that situation? And so she said that, and she's just like, oh my God, Tyra. I said, you got, she was like, and they happy, and they're gonna go home, and they're gonna live together, and it's gonna be just one. I said, well, how you know what they're doing in that house? I said, how long was the light? I said, you sat at that light all that time worrying about these people. I said, this is ridiculous. But that's what happens. We do this. We can create stuff when in our lives we feel unhappy. We start creating stuff to make other people look as happy as we want them to be. And then that causes our depression at this point, because at this point we're getting more depressed. The anger is over. Now I'm depressed. Now I'm stressed out because I gotta go on eHarmony and find me a date. So I can be at the water rice stand with them to make me happy. No, that's not what you need to do. You need to stop creating stories for people, but sometimes that happens, you know, where we get ourselves consumed like that, you know. So with that being said, you know, we have to learn to let go, learn to laugh, and not to draw ourselves into other people's situations that they got going on when it comes to their life. Be able to practice relaxation skills, you know, being able to, you know, take walks, meditate. Some people now are into yoga. Doing yoga, eating healthier, because I know a lot of people now are seeing nutritionists or becoming nutritionists, because I know a lot of people get in the nutrition business, finding ways to eat healthier. That's a way to relax, you know. Also, know when to seek help. If you feel like you need to speak to someone, know to ask for help. Majority of professionals, whether it's in social services or psychology, they all have some kind of a free consultation. A good amount of them do. If you know you need the help, contact them. You know, everybody I know is all over Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and everybody is out there. I know we have an app now out called, I think it's talkhealth.com or talkhealth.com, and it's actually an app where you can find a professional. You don't have to actually go into the office anymore. You know, now you can do it by phone. You know, you can do it by phone, FaceTime, Skype. You know I do a lot of clients over the phone, you know, as well as in person, you know, but that's something that's also an option. Yes?
There's a lot of people that do their health care, they have benefits. Like
right.
Free consultation.
Yes, exactly. And a lot of health benefits. Yes. And a lot of health care will cover.
My specialty is actually behavioral health.
Okay.
I'm managing a pod strictly on billing and collecting for behavioral health, just to show you how much behavioral health has become an issue.
Right.
I mean, it's growing, and we see more and more children with behavioral health.
Yeah, it's